Hello. In this video, we're going to talk about setting up a working directory in R and also using our scripts, creating new ones, and then using the scripts to help us write our code. So first thing I'm going to do is open up RStudio. And then here, as usual, we see the left-hand side of this is our console, just waiting for us to start coding. On our left-hand side, we've got our environment, which is empty because I haven't done anything yet. And then down in this lower right-hand corner, we've got our tabs with files, plots, packages, help, and viewer. So the first thing I want to do is set up my working directory. Now what that means is I'm essentially choosing a file for R to use to save anything that I create or export. All those things will go into this specific file. So it's really helpful to create a file for maybe a project that you're working on, something like that, where all of your information is in the same place so you can quickly and easily find it. Now, as with all things with R, there are multiple ways to do the exact same thing, and you're able to choose whichever way works best for your particular style. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to set up a working directory in R. So the first way is to come up here to this top bar and click on Session, then Set Working Directory, and then I can choose a directory. And so what I'm going to do here is choose a file that I already have made on my desktop. So here I can just click on Desktop and then navigate to this file, Data for R Analysis, and then click Open. And now as you can see, a couple of things happened when I did that. In my console, the line of code setwd has been run and shows the file path for that particular file that I wanted to use. And then also over here in my Files tab, it opened up this file. So now I can see all the different things that are in here, past code that I've run, that sort of a thing. The second way that I can open and set my working directory is to just navigate from this Files tab. So starting from the Home File tab, I can just click to find the file path that I want to go to. So I want to go to my desktop, and then I want to choose Data for R Analysis. And then I can come over here to this More option, and click on it, and then just select Set as Working Directory. And once again, you can see that code was run here in the console, which means that it has now set my working directory to be this particular file. I could change this. I could pick maybe a different file. Say I wanted to put this under my Documents file. I could easily set that and say Set as Working Directory, and now you see it's setting a different thing. But I'm going to go back and set my working directory back to be this particular file on my desktop. The third way that you can set up your working directory is just to type in set working directory. So type in this code here. So I can just type setwd using quotes, and then use that exact same file path. The reason why I don't really like to use this particular method is because I don't always remember exactly which file path I want to use and how to write it out. As you can see, I made a mistake here already. It's much easier for me to click through my different options, but I can take that and run it, and then my working directory is set. The second thing I'm going to talk to you in this video about is R scripts. R scripts are very, very useful for saving your code. As you can see here, so far all I've done is just in this console. If I were to close out my R session, I would have no way of saving anything that I've just done. Granted, all I've done is set my working directory, but if I had a whole bunch more code, I wouldn't be able to recreate that or run it really quickly. I'd have to go through and type it all over again. Another thing that R scripts allow me to do is they make it a lot easier for me to sort of problem solve and double check my code. As before, when I had that question mark here in my set working directory and tried to run it, then R would give me an error, say that it couldn't find that place, and I would have to either retype in this code or use the up arrows to try to find old old code that I had run and then try to work through it that way. So having an R script, what I can do is I can just edit my script up there and then rerun it. So as always, there's multiple ways to open a brand new R script. What I'm going to do is you can either choose File and say New File and then click R script. As you can see here, now I've opened up this new window that is my R script, and it's as yet untitled. Or another way that I can do this is choose this little blank piece of paper with the plus sign here and click R script. Once my R script is selected, then I can start typing up in here. Now you can write anything in your R script and it doesn't affect what's happening down in your console until you click the run feature. So normally the very first thing that I like to put in my R script is which working directory I've set, so that I know what all of the data that I've run in this particular script, where it is going to be saved, or where it has been saved if I've run this R script previously. So I can either type up setwd and recreate exactly what I wrote down here on the bottom, which I won't do because it's going to take a while, or what I can do is just simply copy and paste this text. So I can just highlight this, copy, and then paste it directly into my working directory, or into my script, sorry. And now that this is in here, now I can, with my cursor in this line, I can select run. And then you can see then it runs that line of code down here. Scripts are excellent for this sort of thing, but I can also type more things in here. So say I wanted to tell myself what this script was all about. I can come up here and use this hashtag or pound sign mark. And you can see once I do that, it's code colored green. So here set working directory is in black, meaning that R knows that this is a function to run. Using this hashtag, this lets me know that this is going to be a comment, and R will not have any problems running this comment. It just won't do anything with it. So I can put the title of this script will be script for our video. And I don't have to run this line of code. I can, and as you can see, all it does is it runs that with that hashtag. If I don't have this hashtag here, you can see now this is black, and then it's got blue here for the for, because for is a type of function that R recognizes. If I were to try to run this, this gives me an error, unexpected for, because it thinks that I'm trying to do something here, do some form of code, run some sort of formula, something like that, but I'm not. I'm just giving myself a title, so I can do that. And you can sometimes get fancy with titles and put a whole bunch of hashtags and make it special. The other thing that you can do is you can use these hashtags to sort of separate lines of code. So maybe I say set my working directory, and then I want to say, okay, now I'm doing a new thing. So I'm going to set a new line, have a whole bunch of hashtags there, and then in my next line I'm going to give myself a note. This is where I start writing code. And then down here I can start doing things like making variables, doing equations, that sort of a thing. And then as you saw in the last video, we can just highlight these and run these. And so the R scripts are great because then you don't have to run everything on here. If I want to change this, instead of having this be 5, it can be 7. I can change that. And again, it doesn't change anything down here in my console. I have to run this line of code. So if you change something up here, if I change x to be equal to 10, but I don't run this line of code, if I then just run this line, it still thinks that x is equal to 5. You can see x over here is equal to 5. If I want to change x to 10, I have to remember to run this line of code. Now x is changed, and now x is changed there, and now I can run this new line there. To save my R script, I can either click File and Save, or I can save by just pushing this little floppy disk icon. If I click on this, then you see it prompts me to save it and choose a name for it. And then it's also automatically saving it in that working directory that I've already set. So I can change this location if I want to, but the whole reason why I set the working directory is so that that is my default save. So I'm going to save this as our video script and click Save. And as you can see, once I save that, now down here in my files, which is still showing this file for data for R analysis, this new script has popped up. I can exit out of the script, and if I need to open it again, I can just click on this, and then there it is, and then I can just highlight this whole thing if I want to and run it. And as you can see, now that I've done all that, it ignores the things that are hashtags and just shows them to me, and then runs the code that I actually have as code. I feel like that's enough for this one video. I hope that this is enough, and in the next video we will talk about using functions.